Living in a van is hard because it keeps you stuck, and you would think it does the opposite. It allows you to go places and travel, but when you do want to settle down and take a break and start working again, it just makes it very, very complicated. And I don't think people understand that part, is once you're in it and you want to come back to reality, then it makes things a lot harder. So that's something we're facing right now. We just got to New Hampshire about 2 weeks ago, and we both want to start working, but both of us working and living out of the van. I have my car that I need to bring with me to the parking lots that we sleep in. We're not renting campsites because it's almost the end of the season, so we're not going to be able to find anything. So starting work is tough when you're living in a van, and then looking for an apartment when you have no work history before last month is also hard. So those are things to also keep in mind, along with the fact that just living in a van is hard in general because I don't feel like the blessings come in as easily because you're just living in like a mess. And like, it's a level of freedom, yes, but it's like you're also sacrificing like comfort and just things like that, like bathroom, shower, and I don't feel like that is the like best way to live because it's not the most comfortable, but I'm sure some people don't mind that part. I just feel like the older I get, the more I want those simple comforts. I want to have a place to go back to. We both don't have a place to go home to. I feel like some people who do the van life thing, maybe they have a house or an apartment they go home to, but we both have to go home to our parents' houses when we're done traveling in the van, and to do that as a 26-year-old and a 29-year-old, it just feels uncomfortable. You want your own space, especially when you are practically married. Like, you don't want to be living in your parents' house. So that's another thing that makes van life tough, is when we're on the road, we just keep thinking like, oh, when we get back, we have nowhere to go. And that is like a pretty lost feeling. And then we love New Hampshire, but obviously in the winter, we're not going to be staying in the van. It's just impossible. So yeah, I see like people post online about van life on Instagram, and it's just not reality. And I know you already know this, but like, I just can't stress this enough. I'm someone who's been interested in van life for almost 5 years now. I did it on my own. I met my partner, Michael. We did it together, and it's just not what you think it is. And I hate to be like this person, but I want people to know the truth because I don't like that it's being spun a different way. Yes, there are parts of it that are fun, obviously, the traveling, seeing new things, but by the time we would get to new places, we would be so exhausted. We didn't even have the mental capacity to feel like doing a long hike or feel like doing the things we love when we have free time when we're working. Like, I hate to say it, but it's a big mental exhaustion stressor living in a van, because you're always thinking about your next move. Where are we sleeping tonight? What are we gonna eat? Where are we gonna go to the bathroom? Where are we gonna shower? Are there Planet Fitnesses nearby? Stuff like that could get so tiring after a while. Getting kicked out of places, being worried about getting kicked out of places, that's a big stressor when it's the middle of the night and you get the knock. You don't want to get the knock. Just stuff like that. And then the filters and the editing that people put on these places, like Colorado, stunning, beautiful. I would go back there in a heartbeat. But the way that these people edit some of these lakes is crazy. Because then you're sitting at home thinking, oh my god, I want to go there. And then you go and it's gorgeous, but it's just a normal looking place. Like, it's not this crystal blue lake that is like shimmering off the fucking sky. Like, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but it's like not what people are portraying online, of course. And then the national parks. I have wanted to go to all the national parks for as long as I can remember. You get there and you are sharing the experience with hundreds of other people, unless you do go off the beaten trail and do like a 8 to 10 mile hike, which some tourists aren't going to want to do. But when we got to Arches National Park, oh my god, the views were incredible, but you have to get into the park at least at the latest 7 o'clock in the morning if you want to see things without the crowds, if you want to get beautiful pictures without the crowds in the background and stuff like that. So I just feel like the whole idea of traveling to these national parks is like a bit misconstrued, because you think you're going to get there and be like alone in nature or something, and you're just not. You're sharing the experience with other people, which is beautiful, but it's just not what online makes it out to be, which is like a gorgeous photo, a gorgeous backdrop with not one other person in it. That's just not reality. And I want to bring these things up because I want people to travel and see the world, but I don't want you to have these like certain expectations and become disappointed when it doesn't meet them. Because the reality is, traveling is fun, but also having a break is fun. Going across the country, I think about all the bands that used to tour and drive instead of have private jets and stuff back in the 70s, and I'm like, no wonder everyone was doing, because how do you cope with being on the road like that and just always being in a new place? It messes with your head and you never feel truly 100% safe. So I don't want to deter anyone from traveling, but you have to do it realistically. And living in a van, I've done it for the past, off and on, for the past 3 years or so. It's good, it's great, it's a great way to see places for cheap. We would not have been to do this same trip by staying in hotels. So it does save you a lot of money, but you are paying the price with comfort and mental exhaustion. So just like everything else online, whatever you see about van life is fake. Get out there, get a van, see what it's really like. Take a few trips before you commit your whole life to it. And just understand that the people who are posting a lot about van life being great and this and that, and are trying to make money at the end of the day. So yeah. Hope this isn't too negative or uncomfortable for people, but I just want to bring the reality to the situation at hand. Well, it's not a situation, but thanks for listening, and if you got anything from this video, that's all I could ask for, because it's the only reason I'm posting, is to help at least one person. And have a great day, guys.